Good days. Boom and boom.
Welcome to the Good Days podcast with Eddie and Charlie. Charlie, today's a
great day.
Oh, not just a good day.
Not just a good day.
It's a great day.
Bro, we got some great guests today.
Yeah, we do.
And by the way, I mean, the weekend in the Midwest was beautiful.
It was gorgeous,
Classic.
man. It's like perfect weather, sunny, 60s. Felt like fall in the morning and evening. And
The
leaves were, it was perfect.
I was up in Michigan.
They don't get that in California.
They don't get those kind of, well, they get dry season and burning season.
Yes.
Okay.
Dry and drier.
Dry and drier. But I was up in Michigan, and IWU is playing up there, and great days, and hanging out with them, and then hung out with some family members. Ran into Uncle Ted Nugent.
Yeah, bro. It's always a good day when you can run into Uncle Ted Nugent.
What a trip.
Yeah, you took a picture of him, didn't you?
Yeah, we'll just leave it there. I'm just saying my job is to witness to everybody and anybody, which I literally did. So
He calls himself a pastor too, by the way.
yeah, I know.
A pastor to what?
That's another
That's
story.
the question.
But it was, hey, by the way, that night, it's Saturday night. I'm driving back into Temperance, Lambertville, Michigan, coming down, from the Ann Arbor area. And
God's country.
it was like, man, it's really foggy tonight. And then I could smell it in the truck. It was just burning leaves. And for about 10 miles, the whole lower state of Michigan
was on fire.
Literally-
Burning leaves.
literally. It's 10:30, almost 11 o'clock at night, and I see these people out in their yards burning, little reds.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it was a haze.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's Michigan for you. Let me rephrase that. That's Michigan for you.
And don't forget it.
Okay. Hey, we got some great guests here.
Yes, we do.
We have Rachel and Jen from KidsAlive Ministry. So excited to have them here. Can you guys introduce yourself real quick and kind of a little bit what you do? It would be fantastic.
Great. Thanks so much for having us. My name's Rachel Davidson, and I am the Chief Operating Officer for KidsAlive International. Ultimately, it really means that I'm responsible for what we do in the field.
That's awesome. Jen, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. I'm Jen Graffius, and I used to work at Azusa Pacific University, and now I work with KidsAlive International.
Yes.
And I do a lot with our foundations and grants and connecting us to our university partners and church partners. So
That's awesome.
Veteran of the podcast.
Veteran of the podcast
yeah.
several times.
Hold on. You said you where do you live, Jen?
I live in the Los Angeles area.
Oh. And are you a Dodgers fan?
Am I a Dodgers fan? I think we've talked about this over the years.
Oh, Canada.
Oh my gosh.
My home and native.
Where's
They got
that come
robbed,
from?
bro.
Oh, yeah,
There was
Toronto.
The
I
Blue
feel
Jays
bad.
got
They didn't
robbed.
get robbed. They got spanked.
Oh.
That was what happened
Robbed.
there.
All right, let me ask you, do you like
Robbed.
feel for them at all?
No.
Like, there's not even an ounce of like,
Robbed.
Not 1 ounce.
I felt so bad
Gave
for
it
them.
away.
They had so many opportunities to win it. Like, it was
Bro, gave it
ridiculous.
And they
away.
didn't.
They
They
did-
fell
they
to the
didn't.
mighty Dodgers.
The
Oh.
Dodgers did not win. They were gifted.
That's not even true.
It was an
because-
early Christmas gift.
Game 7 of the World Series, I was actually cleaning my kitchen because I could not handle that they were going to lose. to
Oh, I
the
bet
Blue
you're going
Jays.
crazy, weren't you?
I was.
What do
I
you
was
think
like,
about
it's
Game
over.
3?
Oh, I was there.
A
Oh.
classic.
There for the unbelievable, like, it was 18 innings or something like that.
It was 18 innings, and I was there with my dad, who has a rule. We call this the John Graffius rule of Dodgers games. It's that you don't leave a Dodgers game early. And so I knew we were in it for the long haul.
You're in it for forever till 2:00 in the morning if you had to.
Oh my gosh! So yeah, we were there. I think the game ended at like 11:40.
Your
PM.
time,
Yeah, our time.
Eastern time, that'd been 2:40 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah, and it was,
Two-
and then
2:40 a.m.,
50,000 people stayed at Dodger Stadium, and so then we left and drove through traffic. So I got home at like 1:30 in the morning.
Shavaz Ravine. Coming down the hill is brutal, isn't it?
It is.
Holy buckets.
Yeah, everybody. It's like 50,000 people all
Yeah.
funnel into a couple of streets in
Ugh.
LA.
It's tough.
An experience.
Yeah.
Ohtani wins the MVP again, unanimously.
Yes.
Yeah, glad I got that bobblehead when
How
Charlie
does
and I
he-
went to
Oh,
the
dude.
Dodgers game back in. When was
He's
that? Like
incredible.
I
June?
can think of 3 people from the Blue Jays. Well, forget it.
But you know what the best part was is that Ohtani didn't win the World Series for us. It was really Miguel Rojas. who
Yes.
nobody was
Yeah.
expecting to come out and
the unsung
hit
heroes.
a home run right before Ohtani.
Yeah.
Who
That
did
was
play what
amazing.
for a month? Or-
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
fun fact, he also saved Clayton Kershaw's no hitter at Dodger Stadium. He was
Ooh,
the
yes, that's
he was
right.
playing shortstop or
Yeah.
second base, and caught like he made sure that
Yeah, that's
Kershaw
awesome.
kept his no hitter.
That's very fun.
On behalf of Dr. Mike Tapper and all of our Canadian friends,
Yes.
we grieve with you.
We grieve.
You were robbed.
Exactly.
We don't grieve at
Stolen
all.
from
We
you.
celebrate. We run some buses through downtown LA. And
Nothing like just buying your
celebrate for the second
championships.
year in a row.
Back to back.
Buying your championships.
Okay, we'll do it
I-
again next year.
What is the
I read
budget for
somewhere-
LA versus Toronto?
You know what?
It's actually not that much, to be
Okay.
honest with you. They're like LA's number 1, Toronto's like 4 or 5, so it's not that much. But the difference between LA and Cincinnati Reds is a lot. You know the pitchers. I don't know if you read it. I read an article on this. The pitchers that actually pitched in Game 7, their salary is like $1.2 billion.
Wow. They were amazing pitchers, though. I actually saw the Reds play this summer.
Yes,
Against
against
the
the
Dodgers.
Dodgers. And who won?
The Reds.
I'm glad you brought it up.
Boom.
Because the only game they won all year against the Dodgers is the game you were at
I
at Cincinnati
know.
Red
Were you in
Stadium.
Cincinnati or
Yes,
LA?
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. I'm trying
It's
to
a
get
cool
to all
stadium.
of the
It is a cool
stadiums
stadium.
now. Yeah, it's
My
great.
father-in-law is a big Reds fan, so I
Yeah.
take him down. He was there during the Big Red Machine days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
days.
It's nice there.
Yeah, it's
Good
awesome.
days.
And we just want to say this for everybody else: the Detroit Tigers should have been there.
Thanks,
They
Charlie.
should have been there.
You are a
The would've-
conspiracy
They
theorist.
gave
Could've.
it
right
away.
now.
The
Should've.
Padres were the best team.
Oh, don't even
in
get me
California.
started. Not a chance.
In California.
Not a chance. Let's all pause and remember that Manny Machado hit the last, or was the last
Come on.
strikeout of the 2018
Well,
World
Man-
Series against Boston.
mm.
Thanks, Machado.
You're such
Way
a fan.
to try to hit a 6-run homer.
You're such
Okay,
a fan.
no, okay, I quit. I
Yeah.
quit.
Yeah, don't mess with Jim when it comes to the
Nope.
Dodgers.
Thanks.
Arr.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay, so tell us a little bit about Kids Alive and the ministry and what you guys do, and then let's just dive into this a little bit. It'd be great.
Sure. So, Kids Alive has been around for over 100 years. We have learned that we are the best kept secret, and we are trying to change that. And
It's awesome.
I think that Jen is one of the people who is helping us do that. So, thanks for that, Jen.
Thanks.
But just to share a little bit about who we are, what we do, that we are, we operate in 7 different countries, and we work with kids who have been abused or neglected, and we also work with their families. And so we essentially work along the continuum of care when it comes to child abuse, child neglect. And so looking to prevent it, looking to strengthen families, to prevent further prevent a family from falling further into the system, if you will.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if something significant has happened, the government has intervened, then we are looking at providing protective care, which could look like a residential home. It could look like a foster home, but ultimately looking for a safe temporary placement, and then looking for the ability to get that child into a safe and loving home. And then on top of that, we also work in the court systems. And so representing children, particularly children who have been sexually abused, and we provide them with lawyer, social worker, and psychologist
Wow.
to really wrap around to promote healing as they go through a process that can be very scary and a process that could potentially be traumatizing in and of itself.
Wow, that's awesome.
Can you describe something for me real quick? Like, is it going through your webpage and who you are? I mean, what does restorative education mean?
Sure. So restorative education is more than your academics, right?
Got it. Yeah.
So a lot of the kids that we work with, right, they come from hard backgrounds.
Mhm.
And so when they are in a classroom setting, if they have come with a hungry stomach, if they have come having witnessed their mother having been abused by their father, they might not be able to focus in
Right.
class, right? And we might not know what they have experienced,
Yeah.
but we want to meet them where they are. We want to be able to show them that this is a safe, trusted, loving space,
Yeah.
and that we want them to get to a place where they can focus on the academics, but we want to show them the love first, so that they can kind of process what they might be experiencing.
Good.
Yeah, I love that because
That's really good.
Jenna, you and I were talking last night about the whole thing of like, holistic kind of care for these children. Dive into that a little bit more about like how do you holistically care for these kids? Because they come from really hard, desperate places.
Mm.
And so how do you care for them, not just spiritually, but all aspects of their life?
I think it's really interesting that we have to remind pastors that they're whole people. And then when we approach children or youth, we have to remember once again that it's not just the one thing. And usually the thing that's manifesting itself is not really the core of what's going on. And we find that with pastors too.
Mhm.
A pastor will have a major moral failure. And if you dig a little deeper, it's like
Yes.
there's things underneath
There's
that
layers that have been happening.
manifestation of what happened. And so I think
Yeah.
with what I was so blown away by when I've only been to the DR because I've been I'm new to KidsAlive, and so I've been to the Dominican Republic, and I think looking at how there's focus on, are they getting proper nutrition? Do they have a bed to sleep in? Even I was just struck when I turned the corner at one of our schools in the DR, and there was a whole dental office. And I talked
Wow,
to the
that's
dentist
awesome.
who was there,
Wow.
and she was explaining that she had just seen a
Yeah.
12-year-old girl. And typically the protocol for dental care in the DR was to just wait until a tooth is bad enough and then you pull it.
Mhm.
And that has all other implications. It shifts their mouth. There's like cardiac issues that come up later if you have like repeated like gum disease. And so basically offering just standard dental cleanings, and if there's a cavity, we can fill it. And that happens in their schools. And so I think there's just this beauty of thinking through who is the whole child. And in Guatemala, we think about when a child has to go and give a testimony against somebody who's abused them or an abuse that they've witnessed. The number of times that they have to tell that story can, if they're doing it over and over again, they can be re-traumatized. And it
Yeah.
actually creates more issues while we're trying to resolve the big issue.
Right.
So we got a grant this summer to go in and transform some of those testimony spaces and begin to think about how can we create a space where a child only has to give a testimony one time and they can do it in a video testimony
Yeah.
room, and then that can be used in the courts. And Rachel can probably speak to that. She has a legal background, but we've really worked with the Guatemalan system to make that standard practice.
Well, I was going to ask that follow-up question to this based on what you do. And by the way, our audience, a lot of pastors, youth pastors, children's ministry. And so this is good information on what you're doing, even how it translates to here, right?
Mhm.
Proactive care. Is that a
Yes.
part? Is that what you're talking about? And how does that fit into this?
Yes, and
Yeah, perfect.
so absolutely. I think that, when we think of any sort of child protection system, child welfare system, whether that's in the United States or any other country, that we are often being reactive to the bad that we are aware of that has happened, right? And so it's not necessarily the preventive side is not necessarily what people want to put money towards, because it's harder to show the impact that you're making, right? Because it's like, oh, well, we did our job, nothing bad happened. But when you do the preventive work, then not only are individuals better off, that means families are better off, that means communities are better off, that means society is better off. But yeah, so that's where we're looking at really pouring into the preventive side, while also being also on the responsive side, because we don't want to ignore those children who have endured such terrible traumas, because we know that they need healing, and not just for themselves, but for future generations.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking about you take care of physical needs,
Mhm.
you take care of educational needs, because you got some schools in different countries, right?
Mhm.
You obviously are caring for their soul. You're dealing with family systems. Okay, at what point, like in family systems, I mean, this is such a hard, nuanced thing. Do you work with family systems, and do they ever go back to their families? Where you can bring some type of care and resolution to the holistic side of families. What does that even look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some scenarios where children are able to remain with their families. That is the ideal scenario,
Yeah.
right? But that there are risk factors that we know about, and so we are trying to help the family address those risk factors. And so we will offer vocational skills training to parents, financial literacy, skills, so that then parents can then help their children do their homework and things along those lines.
That's great.
And then of course we also have spiritual development. And so whether a family is already considering themselves Christian, or whether they are brand new to the faith, that we are there to plant seeds. We're there to help them grow, but we're also looking to connect them with churches in their local communities, that can further the discipleship efforts. For children who have been removed from their families, that we are looking for the shortest time possible that they are away from their families. And sometimes that means that yes, they can go back to their families that they were removed from. And sometimes that means that we have identified an alternative family. And so we are ultimately looking for a place where they can feel safe, right? It's not just about physical safety, it's also about that psychological safety. And so the safety aspect, as well as just feeling the love and the care.
Yeah.
And so when children are out of home and in one of our programs, that we actually use these cards that I'm holding here, and of course the audience won't be able to see.
Actually, you're on camera.
Oh, just kidding. Hi, guys. So
You can check it out on YouTube.
So it's these cards, and they are one of the tools that we use for healing and for discipleship. And so the cards are based on biblical identities as well as values.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so we try to help not only children, but also their parents or their families understand who they are in Christ, right? So first it's understanding who God is, and that he is always there. He is always loving, right? And then it's understanding who you are in Christ. And so knowing I am strong, I am powerful, I am clean, I am his masterpiece, I am chosen. That these are identities that we see not only as biblical but ridiculously healthy, because God created all of that, right?
And a lot of these people are very broken. So to start with like their identity of who they are in Christ is just building them back up at the foundational level.
Exactly. And so we have had, we have had girls who have been sexually abused, like just flat out say, I'm trash. With the same tone that they might say Jen's sweater is green.
Oh, wow. They're so desensitized to it. Numb.
Correct.
They're numb.
Yes. And they've normalized it. They have accepted this is who I am. I am dirty. I am shamed, right? And so it's helping them understand that they don't have to live in that space anymore. Yeah. That they can have this new life in Christ. And not everybody is going to accept that message immediately, right? And sometimes we might not ever know if they have accepted that message. But they're on their own personal journey, and we are there to plant the seeds and to cultivate that for as long as we are in their lives.
That was my follow-up question about that, because not only do they normalize it, but then it becomes their active lifestyle.
Yeah.
I've seen that personally.
There are generations that, the kids that we work with now, their parents have been abused, right? That they live this, that they normalized it. And so where a child is telling her mother, oh, well, my grandfather raped me. And she's like, yeah, so that happened to me too. Right.
Wow.
And so that is just life as far as they know it. And so we're looking at how do we help heal not only the child, but the parents as well.
So
that's so broken when you think about like that stuff is normalized. It just breaks your heart to hear that.
It is.
If you're listening, go to kidsalive.org, and it's all there on their webpage. And I just had one more follow-up question. So for people who are listening, how do they in the church world connect and partner with Kids Alive? Whoever wants to answer that.
That's awesome.
I was just going to say that. I think that's the beauty. And we've been talking about intergenerational ministry in this season of your podcast too. And it's a great opportunity for the church to really be the church. And I think that's one of the things about being able to go to places like Guatemala and some of the other countries that we're in, where we begin to see their pain and brokenness, as we talk about it, is very visible. But I think all of us experience a certain degree of brokenness and pain in our own lives too. And I think stepping out of our context and being able to step into somebody else's that is so vastly different helps us have new eyes on both what's happening in their lives, but also in our own worlds. We just had a fundraiser in Michigan this weekend, and one of Michigan. We were in Lansing.
Good catch, Rachel.
No problem.
And one of our donors was talking about how he has really been active in our work in Africa, in Kenya, and he has been active with us long enough that he's been able to see some of these young boys that he invested in grow into men and get married. And he told a story about one of them calling him and saying, I've met a woman that I love, and I want to marry her, but she's so beautiful that I have to give more goats than I can afford for the dowry. And so this gentleman actually paid for more goats for the dowry for him to get married. He told that story from the stage, but I had been talking to him before we got on the stage, and he said, he told me that the follow-up to that was a few years later, this same guy called him and said, I don't know what to do with this woman. Like, she wants me to help her around the house. And culturally, that's just not acceptable. Like, I'm a man, I shouldn't have. And he said he talked to him, and he was like, "Yeah, it's crazy. Your wife wants some help. You should do that." And
you should help her.
Yeah, and he tells the story about actually going and visiting them, and when he was there this guy grabbed a toilet brush and he's like, all right, I'm cleaning all the toilets. And this man was like horrified because I guess this is not what you do when
Right.
you're a guest in the house of an African family.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, that's not what you're supposed to do. And he said, yes, in the same way that you are not supposed to serve your wife. And that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a beautiful, like, cross-cultural mentoring scenario, and just like the beauty of participating in each other's lives. And with KidsAlive, you can actually go and be a part of that. So that's my long answer to that, but I think it's a great story. And then I think also just there's opportunities for financial support.
Okay.
And we have regular updates of what's happening out in our 7 countries, which our 7 countries are Guatemala, DR, Haiti, Peru, and then Zambia, Kenya, and Lebanon. So we're in Latin America and Africa and Lebanon, and there's possibly more countries coming along.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so now you also take trips, right? So people can go on some of your trips to visit some of these locations. Tell us a little bit more of that. Like, how can people kind of get involved in that?
Sure. So we have vision trips. We also have short-term mission trips. They're called Go Teams. And certainly lots more information can be found at our website, kidsalive.org. And really it's an opportunity for folks to come not only see what we're doing, but contributing. That we have seen a lot of value when teams will come and pour into our staff, right? Our staff are the ones who are really doing the hard work. And so when our visitors can come and love on them and pour into them, get them a little bit of rest and respite, that we've seen significant value there. We also, of course, have opportunities to do improvements to facilities and all of that. I also wanted to share, though, that as Jen was talking, I was thinking that one of the things that as we talk about the work that we do, that we've come to use this term identity-based trauma responsive care as essentially the foundation of our model and what we do. And we have a lot of folks in the U.S. that we talk to that are like, oh my gosh, this is like amazing, right? And so those identities that I was talking about, that's part of it, the values that we have, but how it is all built in the awareness of trauma and meeting people in their trauma. Because while Jen acknowledged that a lot of those that we serve, that their trauma we can envision readily, right? But even as I was on my Delta flight this morning, that they're saying if you're sitting in the exit row and you have an unseen issue that prevents you from helping, we will move you, right? And so I think all of us have those unseen issues that just looking at me,
not just seen issues, but unseen issues.
Exactly. And so just looking at me, right, you would not know that I got to battle breast cancer. And so you also would not have known that during the time that I was battling breast cancer.
Yes.
And so anyhow, I think that we should just assume anybody that we are interacting with has some kind of trauma, and we don't need to one-up people on what trauma they have or have not experienced. And so as we talk with partners and other friends in the U.S., that we've gotten to the place of essentially being able to share that this is kind of our model and this is how we do things, and we want to be very open-handed and say, if you believe that this will be helpful to you, please take it. Feel free to run with it. And so I presented at a conference recently, and there were 2 women who came up to me after the presentation. Both of them said that they were not originally going to be in that session. And actually, it was the second session that I did, and I was not originally supposed to have a second session. And they both talked about how they personally felt that God was speaking to them and had put them there, and that it was going that message was going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
It was also going to help them in their ministries. And so, of course, I didn't necessarily expect that impact.
Right.
And the two of them exchanged contact information and became
Oh,
prayer
yeah.
partners for each other. And I was like, this is so cool to get to
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
like, almost like these immediate results. But in so much of what we do in ministry, it's the long haul. And you have to be in it for the long haul. You have to be good in there for the good, the bad, the ugly,
Mm-hmm.
and just continue to persevere.
Right. It's good.
Doc, as we close this out, I would say that, and we all would agree, we all know this, that everybody listening, this is real in your community.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter where you live.
Mm-mm.
And not knowing about it or plausible deniability is not an excuse.
Correct.
We might just, I don't want to know about it. No, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's in your church.
Mm-hmm.
It's the neighbor. It's all around us. And this website, this ministry, rather, is a great resource.
Yeah.
So you're not alone out there, even though it's really difficult to deal with it. You don't have to be the expert on all of this.
Right.
You just connect with people who that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So what a great resource. For
Tremendous
people
resource.
listening. Yeah.
Tremendous resource. And once again, kidsalive.org. And right there on the front page, it shows ways that you can get involved and make a difference. So,
And thank you for doing what you do.
yeah, 100%.
Huge.
Really appreciate it.
you.
So thank you, Jen. Thank you, Rachel, for being on our show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And flying in from the ATL.
Absolutely. No,
the
we
CA.
always want to thank the folks who are on the ground doing all the hard work. And for the people who are willing to confront their traumas
Oof.
and work through the hard stuff to get to a much better place.
Yes.
What today we're having a podcast in Marion, Indiana, flying from LA, flying from Atlanta. Thank you.
It's a good day.
Thank
It's
you.
a privilege to be here.
Oh.
You guys are awesome.
Really,
Oh.
really cool.
Thanks, Jen. So are you.
Yeah.
you.
That's a wrap. Boom.
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 And boom.